the Northern Bahamas? You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. We now go to our weekly feature, the Generation Y Report. It's how your hall introduces us to a young man who has beaten the odds and is now aspiring to higher goals.
How you doing, man? Everything good, man? Order some food today?
Yeah. Beautiful.
20-year-old Tiger Williams says life for him as a teenager was not easy. His mother had 7 children, and during his first year in high school, his father died, which was challenging.
Going into high school, it wasn't very easy. I started doing a lot of bad things, smoking, hanging out with friends, coming home very early, doing lots of bad things, fighting all the time.
He says things began to turn around for him when he was kicked out of the regular school system for bad behavior and was then enrolled in program Shore, also known as Genesis Academy.
The principal at the time was Sophia Ramin. She would always say, every time I would get myself in problems in program Shore, she would say to me, she was like, Tiger, it's the same thing like driving a nice car and you headed down a dark road and you know there's potholes in the road. She would say to me, you know when your nice car to mess up a tire by dropping in a pothole. So you would either avoid the pothole, going around, go over, go under. You wouldn't drop in the pothole. It's the same things apply to life. If I could change the hands of time, I would go back to preschool. I'd probably be the Prime Minister of the Bahamas today at a young age. I'd love to go back to school so I tell them give advice to anyone inside school right now in the high school. Just try to do your best, man. We can go through the invoice again and we can check it and we can make sure that we can carry it down a bit, okay?
Since graduation, he has been helping out at Crosstown Shopping Plaza in Freeport. He says it keeps him out of trouble and one day he wants to become a business owner.
My mother was always there. She never gave up on me. And then Crosstown for one always gave me a chance to better myself, whether I do bad or do good. They'll always encourage me to do good, you know what I mean? They always encourage me, they help me through the best of it. Always give me something to do to keep myself occupied. I've always told everyone that I want to own my own business, so I'll work hard enough to do whatever it takes to own my own business or whatever it is.
Mark your calendars because the date for the 2018 Junior Junkanoo Parade has been set. On January 27th, from preschool to high school, students will hit the parade route showcasing their love and appreciation for Bahamian culture. Monique Leary of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture says they're expecting all schools to take part.
Schools from the East End coming in, all the schools in the West District will be coming in, and also private and public schools. So this year we're looking to see even a little bit more from the Junior Junkanoo program here in Grand Bahama. The most important thing is for children to learn the craft of Junkanoo, and we really need assistance from the public as far as helping the schools to get instruments. That's a big thing right now, trying to acquire instruments that they will learn the theory of music, not just playing by ear, but learning music and playing it and how to bring it into the entire school program rather than just Junkanoo.
Co-chair of the Grand Bahama Junkanoo Committee, Mark Gardner, is encouraging the entire community to come out and support the efforts of the youngsters. He adds that residents should also expect big things for the entire 2018 Junkanoo season.
We have some interesting items we want to insert into the parade itself. So the students will have a good time there, the parents and visitors alike. And we also were given a charge of having an extraordinary parade. And it's going to be sometime between the first and second quarter of next year, and that parade will be dedicated to Ken Motorboat Ferguson. Minister Michael Pintard, he had given us a charge at the funeral to have a parade, an annual parade in his honor, because of the legacy that he's left behind and wanting to honor that.
This week, when millions pause for Thanksgiving celebrations, many Bahamians will also be giving thanks. Among them, a young woman who has had to fight the dreaded disease cancer at an early age. Today, she's encouraging residents to remain thankful regardless of what they may be going through. Shashina Roll reports.
Thank you, Lord.
At the age of 16, 12th grader Makia Cephas was diagnosed with non-rhabdomyosarcoma, a cancer that affects the soft tissues. She says at first she noticed light pain that ended in her muscles being extremely sore. But after a week, she says her mother realized that she was walking with a limp and decided to take her to the doctor.
I had on a short pants at the time, and when I spin around, I had like a huge mass right here on my leg. And she was like, "When did that come then?" I'm like, I really don't know. And then the next day I went to the doctor. I think it was Dr. Davel, and he was like, "It looks like a sarcoma and blood is leaking somewhere. So you need to go to the RAN, do some x-rays and blood works, and they'll move from there." And that's how we found out.
But for the young girl who was dancing in her church's ministry and about to graduate from 8 Mile Rock High School, her life was about to change. After receiving a second opinion from a U.S.-based hospital, Makia was advised to begin treatment in New Providence, and she says from the very beginning, she made up her mind to fight.
Prior to diagnosis, it was just fear, tears every day. So at some point, I decided it's okay to stop crying. You know, it's time to fight and do what you have to do.
But even with her mind made up to fight, the dreaded disease of cancer at times became too much. From undergoing chemotherapy, losing all her hair, long stays in the hospital, and many sleepless nights.
I was just thinking it's something we can go into today and be on our way. But it was like 8 months in treatment, 6 weeks in radiation, and then I had 2 surgeries. So it was much longer than I anticipated.
With a supportive mother and through the grace of God, now 23-year-old Makia says she has been in remission for the last 6 years. She gives this advice to persons who may be going through the same challenge.
Trust God. And it may sound hard because you may be thinking, how can I trust God if He's allowing me to go through this? But you have to remember that He has a plan. And if you trust Him, He will bring you through.
Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
So what are you thankful for? That is the question this week for our What's Trending segment. Just go to our ZNS Bahamas Northern Service Facebook page or on Instagram at ZNS North 242. And now it is time to Ask the Doctor.
Welcome. Lynn sent this question. I have a large keloid on my ear and it's really embarrassing. I had it removed before, but it keeps coming back. What else can be done to get rid of it? Hi Lynn, thank you for your question. Keloids can be very frustrating to deal with, especially when they are located on parts of the body that are visible. A keloid is an overgrowth of scar tissue that develops around a wound. The cause is not known, but it's more common in people who have darker skin. There seems to be a problem with cells called fibroblasts, which are responsible for the production of scar tissue called collagen. Keloids can develop after acne spots and boils, body piercings, burns, lacerations, and surgical wounds. Various treatment options are available, such as cryotherapy, in which a probe is used to freeze the tissue, steroid injections into the keloid, or removal by laser therapy. People prone to develop keloids should avoid piercings, tattoos, and unnecessary surgery. Please visit any of our community clinics so that a doctor can provide the appropriate referral for treatment of your keloids. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Don't go away. A check on sports is up next with Ricardo Lightborn.